In this class we discuss inner product or dot product. Both are the same. So the inner product of two vectors, if u and v are vectors with these components in r power n, then its inner product is u transpose into v. That means dot product of u and v, which is equal to x1 y1 plus x2 y2 plus etc. xn yn. Now we will move to some of the properties of the inner product. So the properties are, the first property is if u, v, w are the vectors in r power n and alpha is a scalar, then the first one is inner product of u comma v is same as inner product of v comma u. Inner product of v comma u. Second property is inner product of u plus v comma w is same as inner product of u comma w plus v comma w. Similarly, if you have a scalar alpha into u comma v, you can take that scalar outside, so alpha into u comma v. Similarly, inner product of u comma u is always greater than 0, and u comma u is equal to 0 in only one case, if u is 0. Now these are some of the properties. Next we discuss about the norm or length of the vector. So length and norm both are same. So norm of the vector is square root of inner product of v comma v. It is the square root of inner product of v comma v. So that is equal to square root of sum of the squares of the component. Square root of sum of the squares of the component of the vector v. Square root of y1 square plus y2 square plus etc. yn square. So this gives us the length of the vector v, which has the components y1, y2 etc. yn. Now to normalize the vector, you can normalize the vector. So how to normalize the vector? Divide the vector by its norm, that means its length. If you divide a vector by its length, you will find the normalized vector. So normalized vector means its length is always 1. Orthogonal vectors. Two vectors are said to be orthogonal if their inner product or inner product or dot product is 0. If the dot product is 0, then they are perpendicular to each other, are orthogonal. So if I include this condition along with this condition, that means inner product of u comma u and v comma v is equal to 1. That means length of the vectors is equal to 1. Then those vectors are known as orthonormal vectors. They are orthonormal vectors. So we'll move to the first problem where we find the orthonormal vectors. First thing is we will verify whether these vectors are orthogonal. It's very easy to verify. You can see this. The question is, if u, v, w are the vectors, then show that they are pairwise orthogonal vectors. Find the length of those vectors. Also find the orthonormal vectors. So if you find the dot product of u and v, what is the dot product? 1 into 2 plus 2 into minus 2, that is minus 4, plus 2 into 1, 2. So 2 minus 4 plus 2, 0. Similarly, you can verify the other inner products, for the other pairs, you will find 0. Now, how to find the length of the vector? The length of the vector is u is equal to norm u is equal to square root of squares of the component, sum of the squares of the component. So that will give us 3. Similarly, you can check with this vector, that is also 3, w also 3. Now, how to find the orthonormal vectors? So orthonormal vectors is just divide the vector by its length. You will find the orthonormal vectors. So these vectors are orthonormal vectors. So u divided by length of the vector. So divide all the components by that length. Divided by 3, divided by 3, divided by 3. So this gives us the orthonormal vectors. The theorem. Next theorem is, if S, which is the collection of the vectors v1 to vn, are orthogonal. Orthogonal means if you take the inner product of each pair, any pair, you will find the inner product 0. They are the vectors in r power n, then definitely if they are orthogonal, they are linearly independent. So that's what we wanted to prove in this theorem. So suppose, how to prove that these are linearly independent? Always we take a equation like this: alpha 1 v1 plus alpha 2 v2 plus etc. alpha n vn is equal to 0. Now if this is 0, then what happens to the inner product of this vector with a vector vi? It is 0 because of the property of the inner product. If this vector is 0, then the inner product of 0 and vi is equal to 0. So that implies alpha I, this is using the property of the inner product. What is that property of the inner product? Alpha 1 v1 comma vi plus alpha 2 v2 comma vi plus etc. alpha n vn comma vi. So that is equal to 0. Among those terms, only one term, this in the left hand side, this is not 0. So the remaining terms like alpha j vj comma vi is equal to 0 if, because inner product of vi comma vj is 0 if I not equal to j. That means the all except this term, all the other terms are 0 in the left hand side. So we are remaining with only this term. So once again the property of the inner product says that this can be written as alpha I inner product of vi is equal to 0. We know that inner product of vi, one more property of the inner product, is greater than 0, that means not equal to 0. Therefore alpha I must be equal to 0. Therefore the set S is a linearly independent set. So the next theorem is, if v1 to vn are orthogonal basis for a subspace W of Rn, then for every vectors which are the linear combination of these vectors, the scalar alpha I, so these are the scalars, a scalar alpha I is given by inner product of this vector with vi divided by inner product of vi. So the proof is very simple. If what is the inner product of y comma vi? Y is all these things, substitute here, comma vi. Now once again, using the property of the inner product, we have alpha I vi comma vi, v1 comma vi. In general, vi comma vj is 0 if I not equal to j. So all the other terms in the right hand side 0 except this term. So and as from this we can find alpha I. What is alpha I? Bring this to the other side. So alpha I is equal to inner product of vi y comma vi divided by vi comma vi. Let us discuss a problem based on the previous theorem. Show that these vectors are orthogonal and the vector 6 1 minus 8 can be expressed as a linear combination of these three vectors. So 6 1 minus 8, how to express 6 1 minus 8 as linear combination of these vectors? It is easy to verify that their pairwise inner product of pairwise vectors is equal to 0. That means v1 v2 v3 are orthogonal. Now from the previous theorem, alpha 1 is inner product of y comma v1 divided by v1 comma v1. So y is this? v1 is 3 1 1. Now if you see the inner product of y comma v1, that is 6 into 3 plus 1 into 1 plus minus 8 into 1. So that is 11. And v1 comma v1 is 3 square 1 square 1 square. So 3 square plus 1 square plus 1 square, 11 by 11 is equal to 1. In the same way we can find alpha 2 using the formula y comma v2 divided by v2 comma v2. Similarly alpha 3 y comma v3 divided by inner product of v3 comma v3 to get alpha 2 equal to minus 2, alpha 3 is equal to minus 2. So therefore the vector 6 1 minus 8 can be written as alpha 1 into v1. So alpha 1 is the coefficient of v1 minus alpha 2 is 2 minus 2 plus alpha 2 is minus 2, therefore minus 2 into minus 1 2 1, this is v2, plus alpha 3 is minus 2, therefore minus 2, the vector v3 minus half minus 2 7 by 2.